Well, your wife wrote an essay for the New York Times about Diddy. Tell me about what happened.
It's not my place to tell what happened. She wrote a story.
Okay.
It's her place to speak on it. But yeah, I support my wife, man.
Right.
She's telling her truth. Like, she went through an experience. She shared it. She has the right to tell her story. I'm her partner. I love and support her.
Were you married to her at the time?
I was not married to her at the time.
Okay. So according to this article,
Mm-hmm.
to this essay actually,
Mm-hmm.
she was the editor-in-chief of Vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And she did a cover shoot for Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to see it ahead of time.
Yep.
But Vibe had a policy not to do that. So he threatened to kill her or have her killed.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, Diddy showed up.
She dealt with that in real time.
Yes. Diddy showed up with an entourage, and security had to actually escort her to safety. Then at one point, the servers were stolen from Vibe, and she thinks that Diddy was behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing anything in the story?
No. Again, we talked about earlier that people would do threatening tactics of going up to offices.
Yeah.
And trying to embarrass you or trying to gain control of the situation. So what she's supposed to speaking to in that thing is her place in media as a woman and the thing that women in this industry have to go through. And things that she may not have processed in real time that she's processing now and wants to tell that story. And again, my position is very simply, that's my wife. I love her. I support her, telling her truth.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild. I mean...
And it's wild now that, look at the accusations,
exactly.
Even with you with the KVD. It's like, well, we were threatening. We come from an era where people would be threatened. It's just like, well, we almost didn't look at the danger involved with a lot of things back then because we're also like passionate about what we're doing, right? Like we didn't realize the real life ramifications of a lot of things. Speaking outside of her, just coming to me, like I've been threatened. We've all been threatened, right?
Yeah.
We've been in these dangerous situations.
Yeah.
Like this stuff is real, right? Like we always say some of it's fake and posturing. It's like wrestling, but you can really get hurt. To survive in this business, all of us, you have to have thick skin. You have to move smart. We've all had our dust-ups and our incidents behind the scenes. Some we want to share with the world publicly. But, we all here to defend ourselves in it, and it's like, it's crazy that some of it is still unresolved, right? To this day, as your Keefe D thing proves, right?
Yeah.
And maybe we'll get some, whatever justice looks like in 2024. But I think it's very interesting that a lot of it at the time, we didn't realize how actually traumatic this stuff was. I think we were also gung-ho in our jobs of getting things done, and that's all that mattered.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not all that surprising because remember, there was a situation over the Nas Hate Me Now video shoot where, Diddy wanted to remove the Jesus Christ scene from the music video, and he told Steve Stout to remove it. The video comes out, he shows up to Steve Stout's office and beats him with a champagne bottle. So Diddy has a history of overreacting and doing a bunch of crazy, insane type things. When I interviewed Roger Bonds, he got into stories. I mean, not only all the beatings of Cassie, but also Diddy's private chef. She upset him because she wouldn't let someone in, and he threw her out the fucking door like Will Smith, and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And, he beat up his assistant, and there's just a long history of violent acts that really aren't warranted. I mean, really, you're going to go through all that over a cover? You did the cover. You know what's on there. They're not putting a dildo in your hand. What I'm saying? You do that on your spare time.
Man, I didn't even see it coming, Vlad. That was smooth, man.
I just came up with it on the spot.
Vlad, smooth with that. I didn't see it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
You set me up, baby. I didn't even see it.
So your wife and Diddy never worked this out? There was never a conversation to squash it or clear it up or nothing?
Well, as she says in the piece, she continued to do business years later with the person. Amicable. You manage these relationships, Yeah. It doesn't take away how she feels about these things now when she looks back at her life and her career. And she should tell her truth.
Yep.